Joining us now is, mate of Stu Wilson's and contemporary Murray Mexted. Murray, thanks for joining us at short notice, mate. This is a bit of a surprise.
An absolute shock. I had a coffee with Stu the morning of, and we get together for coffee very regularly, actually, because
he's up in Tauranga.
We don't live too far away, and I first met him in Tauranga actually years ago. He was living there when we were teenagers, and so I've had a long association with Stu, and we've been great mates.
Yeah, well, I thought of you as a person of that time, which was a golden age for rugby, and I'll have to say personally, you were the guys I looked up to. You're 10 years older than me. You guys were at your absolute height. He was a guy who didn't start out really as an athlete, did he, Mex? He was a smoking, drinking, troublesome guy, and he kind of got his act together.
No, that was just his cover. That was just his cover. Honestly, he was an athlete from. He was on about a 2 or 3 handicap in golf, when he was a real young guy.
Yeah.
When he was a teenager, actually.
Yeah.
And he, was a real athlete. There's no doubt about that. Good at all sports. Didn't matter what it was. He was good, and it was just the sort of the image that he and Bernie developed as a duo. I guess it started around the time of, it started on the rugby field, but then they did that book together, Ebony and Ivory, and they sort of lived the part of the book, for a period of time. But it was all a bit of a facade for Stu, because he was a real decent bloke, a real good man.
Yeah, and he was. And I was just saying, he was kind of, he and Bernie were kind of stars. And we look out, there was Kerwin after him. He took his try-scoring record. Then you get into Jonah and everything. But in the modern sense of the game, he was a celebrity player, wasn't he?
Oh, very much so. In fact, he had that uncanny skill of sliding through gaps, beating people with timing and verve. He was a very, very smooth and elegant rugby player, actually. Completely contrary to Bernie on the other wing.
He was, muscle.
Which is why, along with Huey, they made such a great balancing combination. And, of course, as you said, we had quite a good backline in those days, and Jamie Salmon was at centre.
That's right.
And he was a great distributor of the ball. So it couldn't be better, really, if you had Jamie distributing and you had Huey, Bernie and Stu. Who the hell could stop them?
Oh, it was a good team. Wellington rugby got a lot out of him too. You played together with him in Wellington, and he was a massive contributor to provincial rugby in Wellington as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and club rugby from college old boys. Remember, he went to Wellington College and he played for old boys. No, he was a wonderful chap, Stewie. Actually, he in a way he was a little bit shy, which people did not understand, because he had a sort of a, what's the word?
But he kind of covered that up with being a little bit brash or irreverent, but it was actually shyness, is what you're saying.
There's a better word out there, mate. Let's see if you and I can work it out, because he wasn't brash, and he wasn't conceited. He was a humble, decent bloke who had this colourful bloody ability. Natural ability. He was oozing with bloody confidence and self-assurance and the ability to beat a man. I mean, he would happily say to you, like he was the guy that used, when in those days the number 8 used to drop back a bit and join the back three. Shades of probably Brian Lahore's image as a footballer, and so. He would often, if I was dropping back and there was a ball put up in the air, he and Stewie would be calling out, "Yours!" which is pretty funny when you're playing first-class rugby.
Yeah.
And it's pretty serious, and some guys putting the ball up, Grant Fox is putting the ball up in the air, and they're going to pressurise Stu or Bernie or Huey, and so they'd be yelling out "yours," and inviting me to catch the ball, of course, and take the hit and give them the ball so they could score the try. And that's sort of what happened, actually, and it even happened in the All Black team too. It was just the way Wellington was. They were a dangerous combination. There's no doubt about it. But Stu was a wonderful man. Actually, he had good standards, good habits. He had the right manners. He was a smooth New Zealander and great ambassador of our country, I thought. Yeah.
I got this lovely text just now, Murray. Sean, 3 years ago I had heart failure and ended up in Tauranga Hospital. Stu Wilson was an orderly there. He said he was volunteering there to pay them back for saving his life over heart issues. So I can say I've been pushed around by Stu Wilson.
Me too. Me too at Tauranga Hospital, because I've had a few knee replacements recently, and Stu was always there. It's very,
and that's
very
a humble thing to do. That's not some wannabe strutty peacock, is it? If you're prepared to go and do that and give back a bit.
I agree. That's well said. Actually, well said.
Yeah,
he was a humble man. Actually, he just was oozing with confidence, though, because self-assurance, I think, is a better word.
Yeah. Well, look, it's not, and I imagine a lot of people are going to be asking, a lot of people are by text, what happened? Well, we'll find out. I guess the sad thing is that he's gone, and that leaves a big hole in a lot of people's lives, and I guess it makes all of us, you included, Murray, feel a little more mortal with the passing of someone like Stu.
Yeah, no, well, I'm not sure whether because he never spoke about having any medical problems. And like I said, I had a cup of coffee a few hours before he passed away, and he was just the normal. He was normal Stu, everyday Stu, and very, very polite. At the cafe, and just a delightful guy. In fact, my son took a photo of us because it was like two fellas staring the fat and having a cup of coffee. Who the hell would have known that he was about to pass away? I mean, it's just blown me away. I just can't believe it. I'm so sad. Yeah.
No, as you should be. That's lovely what you said about him. Murray, good luck and best to him, to his family, dealing with their loss. I know he had a daughter who was something of a runner, something of a sporting star herself. I am sorry for your loss, and I'm sure the country, in general terms, will mourn the passing of your mate and rugby great Stu Wilson.
Thanks.
Cheers. Murray Mexted, former All Black captain. That makes me feel quite sad, and also in my own way, just a little bit mortal.